Hey Lash Pros, Mandy Jacobellis with LAshX here, and you're joining us for our LAsh Xcel series where we talk about lash business. So I have had my salon in Beverly Hills for the last 15 years, and I deal with a lot of people in the entertainment industry, celebrities, singers, actors, arguably some of the world's most difficult customers in the world. And I'm at a price point where I have to deal with those clients, and it's important that I know how to deal with them with Decorum. Today we're going to talk about the profiles of 5 different difficult clients. Energy Thief Elaine, Picky Ricky, Late Lexy, Bad Review Barb, and No Show Nancy. So let's start with Energy Thief Elaine. Energy Thief Elaine is the client that comes in and just maybe she's indecisive. She has no idea what she wants. She wants to spend hours debating different looks, looking at pictures. Before you can even start, she wants to tell you maybe about all the problems in the world. And now you're running about 15-20 minutes late on your next service, and you just feel zapped at the end of your day. How do you keep your energy up? How do you keep positive for the next client after you feel like you've just been run over by a steamroller? So with these type of clients, I like to utilize a lot of breathing while I'm doing the lashing. I actually do yoga breaths while I'm breathing. And I find you can actually get your energy into the client. One of the greatest powers we have as an esthetician or a lash artist is to be able to change people's vibes and energy. So I like to really try to bring my energy into them. And I also like to do that with breathing. I also like to do that without conversing. So if you have those clients that are talking about really negative things, it's putting them in a bad place, it's putting you in a bad place, I try to not really respond and just say, mm-hmm. And I can remind them this is your time to relax, and I'll do a little temple massage, sometimes aromatherapy. There's little tips and tricks, but you want to try to bring their energy positive without zapping all of your energy. So aromatherapy, I have a salt lamp going in my room, the right lighting. Sometimes putting extra gel pads on top of their eyelids, not just underneath, will help block the light and help them relax. Sometimes I've actually had it where my clients talking on their phone, where they're yelling at their agent or their lawyer or their ex-husband, and they're very agitated and active, and you're really having a hard time getting those lashes. I've actually had to say, you know what, if it's a better day, we can reschedule you for when you're able to relax. I don't want to hurt you. And I always put it in a caring way, but really you have to remember you don't want to hurt them. And sometimes it's not a good day for an appointment. So you could waive the cancellation fee if they're really that agitated that they're talking. Usually it's these people that do it every time. And so sometimes by being subtle like that, they'll kind of learn that they can't do that while you're doing the lashes. Others don't care. Other times what I've done is I just stop working. Sometimes these clients can be pretty pushy, and so it's really important that you stand your ground, but also keep that level of professionalism. The reason I bring this up is because I see in the Facebook group sometimes that people can take things personal, and I get it. I take things personal too sometimes, and we don't want to get emotional and get mad at the client, think, oh, you're making me late for my day and all these things, because that's not good for your business. The next client is Picky Ricky. And Picky Ricky is a lovely girl. She's just really picky. She might come in with one look she tells you, and then at the end she wants a completely different look. Or maybe she just wants to fix every little hair. Maybe she doesn't realize that the lashes are going to move and they're meant to look real. They're not supposed to look like a strip lash. Whatever the case might be, making sure that client is happy and leaves happy, but having it that you're not running late for your next client is the aim with this client. So some things I do with Picky Ricky, or with all my clients really when they're new to me, is I really spend a lot of time asking questions to nail their look. That's that analyze and consult phase. So we're analyzing what's naturally going on for them, what their natural lashes look like, what their face structure looks like, what we think will be best for them and their lash health. And then asking them all the questions to help us narrow down specifically what they want. So I usually start pretty broad, like an upside down pyramid. On a scale of 1 to 10, how much drama do you want? That kind of gives me an idea. If they say 5, pretty in the middle. If they say 10, okay, this is the glamour girl. If they say 1, they don't want to see much. Then I'll go on to ask, do you want length, volume, or both? Sometimes people want a 10, but they don't want any length. So that will help you narrow, specifically, if you're going to add volume, length. Then you're going to ask about the curl. Do they like a lot of curl? Do they normally use a lash curler? After that, I like to know about shape. So shape would be, do you want to open your eyes more round? Do you want them to look more cat eye? Asking them kind of about the shape they're looking for. I like to stay away from looking at other people's pictures. The reason is it kind of gives you an idea, but as you know, you could do exactly the same look on two people and it will look completely different. So, if your client that has two little straight lashes comes in and shows you a picture of Kim Kardashian and says, this is what I want, you're going to be setting like an unrealistic expectation there, because you're not going to be able to do that. So I always like to talk in terms of the person's own lash. And also remember, what's dramatic on one person could look very natural on another. For example, if your client has naturally 10 millimeter lashes, you could put like a 13 and that would be pretty long. But if the client's natural lash is 13 millimeters, you need to go longer to really see the result. Whereas if you use that lash on the person with the shorter lashes, that would be way too much. So it's always in terms of what that client's used to. But you want to ask a ton of questions to really narrow down the look. And then you want to repeat that look back to the client. So it sounds like what you're asking for is X, Y, Z, and get the client to agree with you verbally. That way, when you're done this service, if there's any changes they want to make, they know you did exactly what they asked for, but maybe now they're seeing it and they have changes. And how I would handle that would be like, I totally get it. Sometimes you have to see it to know what you want. However, I do have another client booked. What we can do is schedule you for my next available opening and we won't charge you and we can get you the look you want. That would be part of their 10-day touch-up. That I always give with a full set of free 10-day touch-up. But I like to set those limits that, hey, you have to come back, because at the beginning when I first started out, I'd keep trying to change it to make sure everyone left looking exactly how they wanted, but then the rest of my day was all mad at me and I was stressed and trying to rush because I was running so late because that person at 2 o'clock needed 3 hours or something because they couldn't figure out what look they wanted. So we ask all those questions and I block time for that. And then I repeat it back to them. I do exactly what I think they want. If there's changes after that, I would schedule them at a different time. We had a good example of this last week. We had a new client come in and she told my lash artist exactly what she wanted. My artist did exactly what the client had asked for. But then she loved it. She was left happy. She got in the car downstairs with her husband, and I think her husband said, wow, those are dramatic or something. And she came running back upstairs because he noticed them and thought they were dramatic, which is totally fine. We rescheduled her and she left happy. But, setting those limits is kind of a good skill to learn. The next personality type is late Lexy. Late Lexy is just kind of always in her own world. She's always, oh, I'm almost there. And then she's 20 minutes late and you've only blocked 45 minutes for the appointment. So to deal with late clients, one thing we do is we let them know, like, well, we'll do as much time as we have left, as long as there's really enough time to do anything. If they come when there's only 10 minutes or 15 minutes left in the appointment, then I don't even get started because they're going to leave unhappy and it's really just not worth it. So if they're running 15 minutes late for a 45-minute appointment, I'll still give them 30 minutes. But I am really clear with them that, hey, I have someone booked right after you. I'll work until they get here, or we can go maybe 5 minutes over. But then if there's more you need, then we'll have to reschedule you for the next availability because, unfortunately, I'm pretty back-to-back today. It's holiday time. We're super busy. We're running on, whatever it is. But just letting them know, and that kind of sets a standard. So hopefully that client learns that they really should be on time because you're pretty booked up. Even if I don't have someone right after, I do say that to the client because I want them to get in the habit of knowing they need to be on time. If you let it slide a few times and you don't have someone right after, and then you're going 20 minutes over every time with them, they kind of think that they could always do that. And I've had clients actually say to me, well, aren't all your celebrities late? And I have to say to them, well, no, this is, everyone's scheduled. If I start late on you, then everyone is going to be waiting, and that's not fair to them either. So sometimes you'll have those clients that feel entitled because, whether they're a celebrity or whatever reason, you still have to set those standards in a polite way. Like, I'm happy to do as much as we can, and then we'll finish up on our next appointment. Our next difficult client is bad review Barb. And we've all, I think, experienced getting a bad review over the years. And if you're like me, you take it really personal. We put our heart and soul into every client's lashes or services and into our business. And sometimes it's really hurtful to get a bad review. Sometimes the bad reviews are founded where there's good reason. And for those, I like to respond with a nice reply explaining that thank you so much for giving us your feedback. We're going to implement these changes. We welcome you back, and we'd like you to experience another service, blah, blah, blah. Sometimes they're not founded, like the person got a parking ticket and now they're writing you a bad review, which has also happened to me. And that can hurt even more because you're like, oh my gosh, they had a wonderful experience. They write that they love their lashes, they love their stylist, they had a great experience, but they're mad they got a parking ticket and they give you 1 star. Those ones are harder to respond to, and sometimes it's harder to not get upset. So what I like to recommend is if you can say something constructive in the review that actually makes your business sound better, you should absolutely reply. If there's nothing you can say to make your business actually sound better, then you shouldn't reply at all. In the situation where the person got maybe a parking ticket outside your business, and I would like to say, I would probably respond like, we are so sorry that happened to you. We do have free parking in the back, and we hope on your next visit, if you have any trouble finding our parking lot, you'd let us know, or something like that. Some of these reviews are a great place to actually market your business and show the changes you've implemented to other readers. So for example, on Yelp or Google, if someone's reading your reviews and reads a bad review, but you have an awesome response to it, that would make me as a reader maybe want to try that business even more. Like, look, this person had this issue and the business responded so professionally in such a proactive way. It really makes me love that business. However, if you get catty and, wow, you shouldn't have parked in the red zone, blah, 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 that just doesn't make me want to go to the business. It's kind of like, why are you even responding to it? We all make mistakes. There's always things that happen. And sometimes a bad review is justified. But for those people that are just really negative and there's no way to turn their opinion, they criticize everything about your business maybe, and there's just nothing you can do to really make them happy. They want you to change the walls from pink to gray, and they want you to, have different flooring, and you're not going to be able to do that, then just don't respond, and maybe that's not your customer. And a lot of times in my training, I kind of go through this analogy. There's different levels of service. For example, for a haircut, there's businesses like Fantastic Sam's or Great Cuts, and I think your haircut there is like $35, $25, something like that. And then here in Beverly Hills, you can go somewhere like Chris McMillan or Ken Paves, who are celebrity stylists, and for that same haircut, well, not the same haircut, but for a haircut, you're probably paying like $250 to $500. And my point is, even if Great Cuts gave away their services for free, that high-end Chris McMillan, Ken Paves customer is never going to go to Great Cuts because they're not choosing it because of price. They value different things. Great Cuts customer is never going to pay $200 to $500 for the Ken Paves or Chris McMillan experience. You don't need to market to everybody, and you don't need to make everybody happy. You just need to know who your target customer is and how to make them happy. So don't get disheartened if you do get a bad review. It's going to happen to everybody. And then try to respond in the most professional and proactive way possible that actually makes your business look better. And that brings us to our last difficult customer, and that is no-show Nancy. So we have booked her appointment, we've confirmed her, we've sent her a reminder text, and Nancy just no-shows on us, doesn't call, doesn't anything. It's not an emergency. This happens to us all the time with Nancy. She's really busy. She's, a big executive and always has meetings and just, is going to no-show. That's fine, but we're going to charge her. She didn't follow the cancellation policy. That way we don't feel disgruntled. She doesn't care. She needs to go to something else. She knows we're going to charge her, and that's just the way it is. It doesn't become a contempt thing where we're upset with her and she's upset with us. It's just we're clear. We explained the cancellation policy. We reminded her. She's clear she is going to be charged, and our stylist gets paid. My staff gets paid for their time. And she found she had another meeting or something else more important. We'll totally reschedule her, but she did pay for the stylist time. So I feel like that's the best way to handle those no-shows. Especially if obviously if there is a reason for the no-show, like an emergency, we're not going to charge them. But you guys kind of know the people that no-show every week or every appointment, and the ones that happen never. They no-show once in a year or something. It's a whole different scenario. So that is how I deal with my most difficult clients. I hope this helps you guys with your clients. Having been having a salon in Beverly Hills for the last 15 years, I've kind of seen everything. So if there's some client that I haven't mentioned or some kind of situation you're dealing with, feel free to comment below or call. We're happy to walk you through a proper response to help you guys shine and grow your business. And we hope you stay tuned for next week's LAshX seminar for more tips and tricks. And in the meantime, you can check out our blog at www.lashx.pro. Thanks, guys. Have a great week.